has always been a very popular tourist destination. Even during the time of communist regime, a lot of people were extremely interested in visiting this city, where the power of huge empire was consolidated. Moscow has changed a lot since then, and now we can see a great contrast of new and old, what is very eye-catching.
A city of contrasts, Moscow's busy streets all bear witness to Russia's turbulent history and dynamic future. From the medieval Kremlin and the magical golden domes of Moscow's beautiful churches, to its tranquil parks, monumental Soviet architecture, and modern skyscrapers, the city's skyline tells 1,000 stories. High culture, courtesy of the Moscow Philharmonic and the Bolshoi Theater, jaw-dropping art exhibitions, and energetic live music scene continue to prove that Moscow is really on the cutting edge. Whether you are looking for medieval history, communist nostalgia, or high-rolling glamour, Moscow has something for everyone.
During the history of Moscow, there were many attempts to rebuild the city, to give a new look to it. For example, during the period of Stalin, there were many attempts to make a new Moscow, and most of them were made, but the plan couldn't be finished because of the war.
In many places of modern Moscow, it's easy to find traces of Stalin's general plan of reconstruction of Moscow in 1935. There are completed pieces and those which were failed in realization. The general plan was truly titanic. Stalin's city plan was supposed to build a completely new city on the spot of old Moscow. The old layout was categorically denied. Narrow and crooked streets should be straightened and expand. Stalin wanted to build a lot of new broad avenues and to build up the whole city with a new type of living houses. Stalin's plans for the reconstruction of Moscow were grandiose. The capital of the Soviet Union was supposed to become the eighth wonder of the world. Huge shopping malls, squares, skyscrapers, and of course catchy symbols of communist power. At the beginning of the 20th century, American skyscraper was a symbol of freedom and the era of emerging market economy. Manhattan, Empire State Building, the streets and avenues intersecting streetly at the right angle are still a symbol of capitalism. Moscow of old type didn't look like a young progressive city. The government by the early 30s clearly understood that the new state needs a progressive city, reflecting both the political structure of the country and meeting all the needs of builders of communism. All this led to the beginning of large-scale construction of high-rise buildings in Moscow, which were called Stalin skyscrapers.
Hotel Radisson Royal, also known as the Hotel Ukrainia, not only one of the best hotels in Moscow, but also a very great landmark. It's called Stalin skyscraper, and what's interesting that the new futuristic skyscrapers are located not far from this one.
Moscow was celebrating its 800th birthday in 1937. Stalin's skyscrapers were built as a present to the capital. 7 high buildings were supposed to show the greatness of the city and nation. According to Stalin's rule, the architecture image of the city should be cardinally updated. Lots of new projects were launched. Academy of Architecture was established. That's how the building of Stalin's new Moscow started. Unfortunately, one of the skyscrapers wasn't finished because of financial problems. Some years after, the Hotel Russia was built on the foundation of the high-rise building. Still, some of new buildings look architecturally the same as Stalin's constructions. High-rise buildings have always been a breaking point of citizens. The design of new skyscrapers generate a lot of controversy about the allowable building height, and before the revolution, the Moscow citizens had taken the protest to be surrounded by such high walls. The house containing 6 floors seemed horrifying. While some are worried about historical appearance of the city, others think that it's just not safe for living. High-rise buildings should be carefully designed and constructed. The development of new technologies is required. Anyway, high-rise buildings are not rarity anymore. They are taking a significant place in the appearance of a modern capital. Nowadays, skyscrapers in Moscow can be found in every district of the capital. These original structures perform completely different functions. Modern and comfortable accommodations are located at skyscrapers, as well as all sorts of offices, shopping centers and hotels. Moscow International Business Center Moscow City is located in the city center. This modern business complex is currently the largest construction project not only in the capital of Russia, but also in the whole country, and promises to be one of the largest business centers in the world. So why is Moscow so attractive for tourists? Maybe the reason is that the charm of old historical Moscow is in harmony with new, fast and dynamic city life. Elements of modern lifestyles are everywhere. Shopping malls, business centers, boutiques, billboards, futuristic buildings, traffics. Such contrast can't leave anyone indifferent.